Ever have a psychic flash or a spiritual download and you wonder, what the is that the future? I know I have, especially recently. And I'm going to tell you exactly what's been going on with all of us. Welcome to Soul Spy University, where your souls can run free and your minds are free to expand. Today's episode is pretty mind-blowing and it's going to affect all of us. But first, let me not forget to tell you to subscribe so that I'm not lost on you forever. Like, so I can keep putting out this content, informing you of such things, and share so you could help expand the minds and help others' souls expand. One second. Also, before we begin, let me remind you, if anybody feels like putting good energy forward or, wanting to put good energy out or donate at all, there is still a donation link in my description box, and I appreciate each and every little bit. It just invigorates my heart from the inside out and really motivates me to keep putting out more of this content for you, because I know that I risk looking crazy. And to be honest, I don't care, because I'm staying true to your souls and my soul mission. Also, if anybody feels pulled at all, I am still offering one-on-one sessions, intuitive healing, manifestational, very deep, amazing, fun, magical, and life-transforming work. Nothing but raving reviews on that. I am still doing that. All contact information is in the description box. Okay, diving right in. Let me catch my breath. Okay, well, excuse the noise in the background. It's daytime on a Saturday, so sorry about that. So where to begin? March of 2020, I had a premonition. I sort of started to, and this is going to weave right into today, all spiraling, and it's going to be huge, guys. And that way, if any of you are feeling something similar or go through something similar, you'll know what to do. But let me tell you, psychic powers are enhancing, and it's been amazing. Okay, so anyway, March of 2020, I had a premonition, and I felt really nervous. I knew a part of my life was about to end. And I felt really, really nervous about it. And I could have manifested out. I could have manifested my way around it. I could have switched to a reality where that wasn't the case. However, I thought, no, what matters here is me. I'm the one that's going to be going through this life with me all the time. Let me get down to the bottom of why I feel nervous about this. So nervous, and let me cure it. And I just started with that intention of how would it feel if the sources of my happiness had nothing to do with the topic that I was nervous about. So I put on an alternate reality meditation that I've never done anything like that before, and never seen before. It was only a couple seconds in when it didn't even start. It was literally just the person that was introducing it, just saying hi and his intro. A couple seconds in, I experienced an entire world in 1 second. Okay. It's like as if you find a grain of sand and there's a whole world in it. I experienced an entirely different energy in life less than a second. I was so amazed that I went to my laptop and literally 18 pages came out in like a matter of a couple minutes. I never paused of this whole other life, right? So what happened was I put my intention out there. How would it feel if my happiness had nothing to do with this topic? And automatically, out of nowhere, not from my creation, it was given to me. I was jolted into another life where my mom happened to still be alive. I was the same age I was in this life, but I experienced a balance in me that I didn't know was possible. And the only way I could even know what that feels like, or even know that that existed, or even know about the discord in me in this life to the extent I did there, was to experience that. So I'm not going to give you too much detail because I'm going to get right to the points for your sakes. But, and maybe if you want to hear more about these experiences, I can make other videos, let me know. However, to cut to the chase, I happen to, like a lot of us, experience a lot of things very young, very, very, very young, including the loss of both of my parents on separate occasions. I was trained to be an Olympic figure skater, and after my parents died, it's like almost like it was all for nothing. I got hit by a car, I experienced brain trauma. Then I was shuffled to house, and I can't get into too much detail, but thank God. um, I've just been, thank God, I had a seeking for something more. I have a deep soul. I, get down to the bottom of things, and thank God I always had intuition. And I just paid attention to that and really grew what now I help people with. So in that reality, so thank God I am who I am, who overcame that stuff. So choice is huge in life, guys. No matter what happens to you, you can do anything, right? You can become a stronger person for it. Okay. So that's what happened here. However, in that life that I experienced in 1 second, I guess because I didn't suddenly lose my mom at age 11 and having no parents left and stuff, I guess because of that, from that age on, it's like I grew this way, and I had no idea that from in this life, that age on, I was kind of like this, just trying to make it with a limp throughout my entire life. You could know cognitively that something's affected you, but and you could know what you want to work on, but you can't. I don't want to put limits, but I've never experienced it from the inside out the way I did in that reality. To anyone else looking at that reality, it looks like a normal life. It looks like a normal life, not paradise, a normal life. To me, in that moment, it was heaven. Me here experiencing what was over there was absolute heaven, because I never, ever knew what it was like to grow up without even that one big trauma that had other things happen as a result, getting hit by a car, whatever, all by accident because I had to move and whatever. I had no idea that what that impact that had on me from an early age. Yeah, I knew it was the most traumatic thing. Yeah, I knew there was more trauma after that. Yeah, I knew life was hard. And yet I still, it's more, there's more to it that I had to develop. That is what I help people with today. But I had no idea how that from a base level, how much you could feel otherwise. I had a balance in that other reality that I didn't know I was missing here. And there's so many other differences that all came out in 18 pages that I'm not gonna spend time in this video telling you, but like I said, I will create another one if you're interested. But I'm talking about it. It even affected everything physically, my tastes, everything. See, in this life, I have a wide range of emotions. I'm known to be very passionate. I can write very deep material. I can write award-winning poetry. I get to where people are and I help them overcome it. And I have a passion about what I do and source and helping them to get to the next level, and me constantly get to the next level, that is so bright and so moving and motivating to my clients that I'm glad I exist. And that one, I didn't have to develop those tools naturally. So I'm a little more mundane. And in this life, I have a wide range of a sense of humor that spans from PG to not. That one, not so much. Yes, it's there, but I'm normaler there. Everything is kind of ranging from a 5 to a 7 instead of I do everything a little more to the extreme here, which I had no idea about. I'll overexercise for 3 hours because I ate however much sugar a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of, I mean, it's a comedy. If you watched my life, especially previously, it's a straight up comedy. That one, no, there's way more balance going on. I'm not eating 90% raw vegetables, but then if I eat candy, I'm hiking for 7 miles, and yet I'm fitter there. Fitter there. Um, from that life, from that perspective, I could see all the discrepancies. That's a lack of a better word, but for the sake of your time, I could see my life from here in a way I couldn't see it from here because this is all I knew. I could cognitively know or possibly notice differences or what I want to be or whatever. But from there, looking to here, from that inner balance that I didn't know existed, that frankly over there I was taking for granted because I didn't know it didn't exist. I didn't even know it even existed to be in me. So from there, looking here, I could see, oh my God. And my emotional patterns of what I was doing and why and what it all stemmed from. And it was extremely eye-opening and all within a second. And I think the most healing part of it all, as I wrote about my life there, and like I said to anyone else, it's a mundane, normal, ordinary life. But to me in that moment, where in that moment, I was trying to feel, how would it feel? Could I feel? Is it possible to feel? How would it feel if what I'm so nervous about right now had, like, if how would it feel in a reality where my happiness had nothing to do with that? And in that reality, it brought me right there. I could care less about that topic. I could care less, which is probably another wounded spot. But I'm telling you, the innate balance in that one. And I'm not saying I was perfect in that one. I'm not saying I was this award-winning anything. No, no, I was successful moderately. You know what I mean? Like pretty good, pretty successful, maybe a little higher than average. But you know, I'm not trying to, there is noise outside. I am not trying to paint this, oh my God, it was glorious. You know, to you guys picture. To you guys, it's gonna look ordinary. To me, here it was heaven. I needed to feel the feeling that I never knew existed, that I never got to experience here, which is this source that I think is my happiness in a certain age. It doesn't have to be it. In that reality, now I see why it was so lit. Now I see why I was so nervous. Anyway, yeah, I was right. The premonition was right. That part of my life did end that day. It was a weekend from hell, to be honest. However, I'm grateful. I clung to God and my angels. My mom was with me. A lot of synchronicities happened, a lot. And throughout all that hell, I just knew as I hung on, I just thought, you know what the silver lining of this is, despite all the grief I'm feeling? That gift I got, that that I just got like a psychic download or a alternate reality download, or I mean, it was just, I never knew that could happen. I mean, it was amazing. And I thought I kept going to that. And if I go to that, I could feel that inner balance that I didn't know existed. And I could have it heal me here. And knowing that I could do such a thing makes me wonder if I could do it with other realities as well. And I just knew if I could derive anything from that could help me heal here, I have to share this with others. I have to. And from that was born my original aspect of therapy that I administer, called alternate reality therapy, if the soul needs it. So everybody's soul is different, and that's what I cater to on one-on-ones. However, yeah, it led me down an amazing road. I looked up alternate realities. I was linked back to Cynthia Sue Larson, who I was in contact with 10 years prior, about something else completely download metaphysical. And she happens to look identical to my mom, which is a whole other chapter. Ironically, in the download that I received, that led me to her without me knowing it, because I started looking up alternate realities, where she's the queen of it, the amazing educator. The download I received, my mom happened to be alive in it, which is what gave me that balance. Well, when I go to look up alternate realities, Cynthia Sue Larson pops up, who I know very well. And now that the cameras are more clear, she looks exactly like my mom. So everything's very ironic. She happens to educate many on the Mandela effect, alternate realities where one person is still alive or not in the other, hence Mandela effect. Okay, now I'm going to bring you back to the present. And if you guys want to know more about Cynthia Sue Larson, I've released 3 of my 4 interviews with her so far on my channel about alternate realities and much more. And I will release the 4th when I intuitively feel it's the right time. And she's amazing, and I look forward to, we're still in contact. And anyway, guys, coming back to the present, because this is such an amazing road, and I could go on forever about everything else, but I'm sticking to the topic. That part of my life did eventually come back within a week or so, and then end finally that September, where I never went back to it after that. However, that December, when I was going through the final, that's it, no matter what, I know I'm going through grief, but even if this person begs me back or whatever, not doing it again, I turned to God and angels again. Thank them that this time it wasn't as hard, and I received another download. Okay. This time, I was living in a town close to where I grew up in, and I received a whole other life again. Okay. And I'm like, is that my future? Anyway, this was very impactful to me, very proverbial. And from then on, if I ever wanted to make a decision and I wasn't sure which way to go on it, I would link up to that reality and immediately know yes or no. Yes or no. I would immediately, once I link up to that, okay, I know what to do. No matter what, salt or pepper, none. Do this or that, no matter what, it's clarity. Okay, so that's one way to use what is happening. Now to the present. Okay. 2022 is what we're in now, and this year has thrown me for a loophole. A lot's happened that I did not predict. God has kind of pushed me out of my last apartment, and thank God my coworker took me in. So basically, my coworker and I are been cohabitating for the past 5 or so months. Usually, we will do our podcasts, and once he's exhausted and he goes to bed, say 11 or so, I would stay up until 2 a.m. or so recording one-on-ones for you guys. Hence the New Year, New You specials, how to get through the holiday specials, any one-on-ones I would do after he conks out, after we would do like 4 in a row. Now we cohabitate. So I'm literally trying to do this before he wakes up. I'm trying to rush for that too. Okay. So due to moves or whatever, I don't know. But all of a sudden, a few weeks ago, ironically, regarding something I mentioned before, which is a beautiful, beautiful topic, I was again nervous, not about the same topic. It's a totally different topic. I've evolved about something else. My partner, I was about to send an email to a very, very close and beloved coworker, who I'm very so connected with. And if she's watching, she knows who she is. I've mentioned her prior. And my partner, even though her and I are very close and communicate very often, told me not to send it. He thought it was too weird or something. Now, given what I know about law of attraction, I'm like, thanks, dude. Now what? I want to send it with good energy, but now you put this in, you know? So for weeks, so this happened another time with him, like a week or so later. And I'm like, all right, either way, each time I thought it's not going to help me to be pissed at him, even though he's not listening. It's not going to help me right now to be pissed at him. But what I can do is use this to help myself. And what I'm noticing is that I care a little too much emotionally, I'm noticing, about the outcome, about now if this email is well received, which I was fine sending before, but now he's put a complex in me, right? But either way, what we can control is ourselves. And why is there a complex in me, right? Again, I could have manifested my way around it, but I wanted to get to the heart of it and cure myself from the inside out the way I do with my clients, where I get them what they truly want. So that's what I set out my intention for, without even knowing how I was going to do this. I went through a lot within myself, but I trusted the angels, I trusted God, I trusted myself. And I sort of set out a fishing rod of, I just want to feel this way. I just want to feel like so strong in whatever within myself that nothing on the outside can affect me that much. And because I'm an empath, I'm sensitive, all sorts of things, right? Okay. I'm in a meditation and okay, entire life again in less than a second, like a whole world or universe in less than a grain of sand. And I experienced it, all of it, almost. But I got it. And I'm like, again, it's the same town that I got the December download in years ago. And I'm in a whole different life, a whole different life. See, what I noticed in that life, it felt like it was blessed with golden energy. I felt whenever I tap into that download, um, or reality or future, I experience this healing warmth from my stomach, which goes all the way up to my throat, and it feels like warmth and love emanating from inside of me. And it's like I feel love for God, God's love, and that quantifies. And the same with the angels, and it quantifies, and it's a higher self and my mom, and I'm in the forest and I'm tapping into this, I'm feeling more of it. And I always talk to my mom and get an instant response that reality always proves correct. However, this time I really felt her next to me, almost like I could see her, almost like I didn't need physically to see her. I feel like I see her. I see her, I feel her next to me. And this went on for a few days and it was beautiful. It was just beautiful. And I could use that energy to look at things in my life here and think, all right, well, if Christmas came and this happened, but if Christmas came and this happened and this energy was in me, and I would compare different scenarios with this energy or without this energy, and this energy was everything. This energy was everything. And everything I listened to afterwards hit on it. Okay. I listened to someone who crossed over and came back, who now is healing people, and the end result is this energy. I listened to Joe Dispenza, who after how much is his programs, we all want to be in, but yeah, the end result is this energy of wholesomeness. I had all these words before listening to these people, and yet they said all of them to a T. I felt a wholesomeness inside of me. And I realized from there to here again, oh, because that reality is on a whole it's centered around all different priorities than I have now. And I realized on my next level of overcoming obstacles and mountains and trying to be better and everything, and congratulations to wherever you're at, right? But I realized from there, from that energy, from that future, that download, that alternate reality, whatever it is, and this is what I help people utilize. I realized from there things I couldn't have if I hadn't truly experienced it. So I realized from there to here, oh my God, see here, I center my priorities now around things so that I don't have to get hurt. I literally tried to build such an independent life to shield myself from ever having to be vulnerable or getting hurt again. And that to me was my goal. That to me was my freedom. And I'm thinking it's money, but it's because that way I don't really get hurt. I don't need to depend on anyone. I'm thinking it's learning how to do manly things because that way I don't have to depend on anybody. I'm thinking it's, getting thinner and, uh, all these things, right? And and all these things, right? So it's more, and I knew I wanted my life to look a certain way in the future and everything else, and it's all about safeguarding myself. And in that life, in that life, okay, and yeah, don't get me wrong, I love people, but I'm sensitive, so sometimes I just also really like being by myself. And hey, if that's a graduation level for you, that's a graduation level for you. Congratulate yourself. But what I got was for me a whole other level that I didn't know was a graduation. So in that other reality, I what matters to me here didn't matter to me there. What mattered to me there was tradition and family and foundation. And I was very involved in the church, and I'm involved in the community and something with football jackets and whatever my whoever my husband is then is doing something with the community in that. And I'm, I don't have to be anything. I just am emanating naturally this love from within me to out of me, this gratitude that is just choking everybody else in my life in this golden light. And I just love being around them and doing what I can and being a part of things. And it's so not about me. It's so about the love I feel for others. And I have that here. I love others. And the whole point of this video is for you guys, because trust me, if this was anything ego based, I would not be doing this. I'm aware of how crazy this looks. But I'm called to do what I'm called to do. And my partner told me years ago when I started this YouTube channel to just stick with law of attraction stuff. However, I knew after that alternate reality download, no, no, I know this sounds crazy with this alternate reality stuff. I know it sounds nuts, but this is the leading edge stuff. And to me, what it's about is I got help and healing from this in a way that I've never experienced in my life. And that I want to give to others. I feel as if I've experienced that to share it with others. So that's why I do what I do. I never just did law of attraction. It's way more than that. I always am learning more and more and more. Even though my clients love their results, I always tune into what the individual soul needs, and go from there. All right, back to this. When I tell you this was such a different life, centered around all different things, it was such an amazing feeling. However, it was like when I come back to here, it's like, oh my God, how am I going to get there? How? And it was like, I'm just sharing with you the human part of what happens in case this happens to you, because there's also something very big in it where first of all, reality then lined up from then on to sort of push me more in that direction. And if I shared with you guys the details, you'd be mind blown. I'm talking concrete, life changing things that I have to let go of things that are like huge and a part of me, and that was my security. It's very interesting, and I just tune into my guidance, and that's how I know to make the hard decisions that are going to be better for me in the long run. And that way, it's not so hard. It feels golden, and I feel the benefits of it. But yeah, there's been, due to my circumstances and my partner's circumstances, we've shut the door on very, very life huge, biggest decisions of your life. Um, Again, a guard for me not to get hurt. It wasn't his cup of tea either, and money. To be honest, money. We just didn't know how we even afford it, and it's just not his cup of tea. And after a while, I finally was okay and at rest with saying okay to this decision. I would never force anybody into anything, so I was already like whatever he wants. But I was finally okay within myself a few months ago to say, you know what, that's our decision, and that's how it is, and let's flow with it. And I finally felt okay about it. This vision, the more I tapped into it, and there's certain things that if I ask the angels, they might not tell me, and I know why. And it's because I wasn't ready to hear certain things, including this one. Because I'm like, how would I be involved in that if this isn't there, right? Well, the next week, and I said, all right, you know what? I don't know. Maybe I'm not ready, right? It's too evolved for me, right? The next week, I was feeling into it, and all of a sudden, as I'm in a vision that I swear I did not create, it was just I touched my hand on something as I'm talking in the friendship room outside the church in the vision, um and I'm talking to somebody, and I touched my hand on some, it was just so natural as I was talking, and that just happened. And I'm like, and I felt this jolt of energy, and I felt a connection, and I can't share with you guys what it is yet, but if I told you, you'd be mind blown, especially if I told you all the details of everything. It's such a huge change. And I'm like, and usually that's the time of the week I'm manifesting. But for hours, I was just like, how I don't even know where to manifest, because that's such a different reality. Do I write that in? Do I not? We've decided no. From okay, so it's so, and if I really told you details, I'd cry. Okay, because this reality is so heart based that I'm feeling, and so overflowing with love, and it's just the completeness, the wholesomeness within you, and what matters here doesn't matter there, and you're free of all that, and you're just in the flow and present, and it's just such a golden light. And anyway, it's weird because that question started popping up in me the past few weeks, which was freaking weird. And it's a weird thing, and maybe I'll share it with you guys one day. You'll know. And I'll say to my partner, "It's okay. I'm okay now," meaning I'm back to normal, right? And he's like, "Oh, thank God." We have a lot of comedy like that. But all of a sudden, I'm working out, listening to more material, and I find out I'm experiencing 5D. And we're all, to some degree, slipping into 5D, either in moments without knowing, um, or someone's starting to wake up, they're starting to get curious, they're starting to kind of look around. To me, metaphorically, it was as if this dimension, it's as if this life that I've been living is 2D, and that's all I knew. But when I felt into this vision, it felt like three-dimensional. You know what I mean? Everything was wholer. It was infused with love from the inside out. It was like more real. It was amazing, way more rewarding for your soul. I The only thing I can compare it to is, if I'm a caterpillar now, how does a caterpillar, if they had a future vision of flying and they felt really good in the vision of flying, But then they're in this reality, and they're back in this reality, and they're like, they're worried. They're like, "What? How am I flying? Is somebody throwing me? Am I going to land on a rock? Is this impending doom? Is this, am I plunging my death?" Um, However, as life naturally goes on for the caterpillar, it goes through a huge gestation period and all that stuff. And then it emerges as a butterfly. And as a butterfly, it's just soaring and it's loving it and it's amazing. And it never questioned how or why. It just is enjoying it. It's just in the present and it just is. So what's interesting is when I heard about the 5D, it says, how do you snap out of it? And people say, oh, if you go back to your regular habits, then you'll snap out of it. And that's exactly what it is. Whenever my partner and I do our regular habits, I'm like, okay, I'm okay now. I'm okay now, on that life changing decision. And he's like, oh, thank God. You know what I mean? So you'll know if these things take place because there'll be the birth of a third YouTube channel, if it's the case. Yes, I said third. Many surprises in store. And the main surprise will be what's on the third YouTube channel if this happens. Okay. So I'm a caterpillar right now. My New York Italian self is very freaked out because how, why, blah, blah, blah. Right. And this goes against everything that I've grown to protect myself from. I'm now a caterpillar and I know how to put my little suction cup feet where they got to be to go where they got to go so I can be safe and survive as a damn caterpillar. Right. Let's see. Let's see. Hard for me to envision flying. Right. So, yeah, guys, let me know your experiences. Are you having more psychic visions? I want to know. Please let me know in the comments. Are you having more vivid dreams? 5D is all the symptoms I've mentioned and more. I have to go. But yeah, I had to share all this. I spared you a lot of details, although I'm sure they'd be super interesting if you heard them, but for your time's sake and before somebody wakes up. But I had to share this with you. If this is happening to you, you're not crazy. You're actually extremely evolved. We're all waking up to 5D to some extent to another, no matter where you're at. So you'll notice a lot of change in people. And they also say in 5D, you won't take things personally anymore, which was another intention and goal I had. Is my future self. I never want to ever like be reactive to things or take anything personally. I'm from New York and I'm pretty good at having a very balanced, harmonic, soul to soul, I got it, kind of thing and help people. However, I'm also from New York and once in a while, whatever, and my partner loves it. My friends love it when I go on a rant. It's like they love it. But yeah, for my own soul's sake, like let me provide as much joy to them without getting as affected. I'm just sort of converting my pain to humor for the sake of myself and others. But let me not have that pain. How about that? And because I set that intention out there, apparently that's what 5D is, and that's where we're all going. To some extent or another, you're going to be having symptoms if you're not already. Share what you've been going through in the comments. It seems scary, it can be jolting, but just know it's all for the better. It's for the warmth of your soul. We're all becoming more and more complete from the inside out and healed from the inside out as a result of this. I have to run, but I love you guys so much. And please don't forget to keep supporting my content so I could keep risking looking nuts for the sake of your soul. Subscribe so I won't be lost on you forever. And share so you could help enlighten others and really expand their minds, hearts, and souls, to let them know they're not nuts or that you're not nuts. But either way, this is very, very good for the collective. And I'm really excited about that. And if anybody feels like donating, putting out good energy, my heart like enlivens from the inside out. No amount is too small. And if anybody would like a session, like I said, I'm still doing one-on-ones. Anyway, guys, I love you all so much. And for the sake of your time, I'm going to let you go. But it was fun hanging with you, and stay tuned. Stay tuned.